Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Facebook family and friends? And shout out and hello to all of my peeps that may be checking in from the YouTube channel, honey. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, girl. Hey. If you are catching this video live on this evening, go ahead and say, hey, girl. Hey, let me know that you're out there so I can come back, so I can speak to you while we're on here live. And if you happen to catch it on the replay, honey, go ahead and do that hashtag replay. Let me know you rolled through so I can come back and say thank you and appreciate you for stopping by. So happy Saturday. It is Saturday once again. Oh my goodness. And we are still doing summertime. Why I can't get that right? Storytime Summer Series. Okay, that's what I called it. 20 days of going live during the summer. It's summertime. It's summertime. It's summertime. So I said, I'm gonna call it Summertime Summer Series. And look, we on the down stretch. I only got like 2 more days left. Today and tomorrow, really three. Because I was supposed to go live last night and I didn't make it because it was a whole thing. If you do follow me, you know I took my sunshine, my last youngin, over to orientation for college, and so that took the majority of the day. And then on the way back, we had a issue with a tire, so we had to take care of that before we got back on the highway home. So we didn't get home till very late last night. So I didn't have time, nor was I energized enough to get on live. So I really need to do 3 more nights of Summertime Story Series, and that would make 20 nights, 20 days that I am to go was planning on going live. So I like to keep my commitments. I try my best to be consistent and stay true to my word. So we're gonna do that. And but also after the 20 days, which will be Monday night. So my Monday night motivational video will be the last day for the 20 days of Storytime Summer Series. Then after that, I'm going to come back live again and I'm going to be telling you about a brand new program that I am creating that I feel sure is going to help you out in your financial journey. So stay tuned for that. But for tonight, I wanted to tell the story. Now, listen, if you all have not been catching these stories, let me just make sure I'm live too because I don't see nobody jumping on. So I need to make sure that I am live on here for my replay watchers, honey. Come on through with the replay. But while I'm doing that, y'all go ahead and say what y'all did today. How was your Saturday? Yeah, look like I am live on the book. We are live on the book. So I'm gonna share this out with my private group as well so they can check it. Sometimes these videos go out into the groups quicker than they do on the main feed. Let me know how your Saturday was. Did y'all get some rest today? Did y'all go out doing some activities, enjoying the weather? I know it was a little rainy here in Georgia, but it didn't rain. At least it didn't pour down rain in my area anyway. But it was a little muggy, and you know how those summer showers come through and then it kind of make it muggy and humid. So that's the word for it. It's very humid here in Georgia today. But nevertheless, it was a very beautiful day. I actually went out to some training this and then I met up with my business partners and we had lunch. So that was very nice. And then I came back home and got some rest. Got some rest because, like I said, yesterday was a long day. It was a very long day. So let me just make sure I'm live on the tube. Yeah, look like I am live on YouTube. So that is very perfect. That is perfect. So if you all have not started following me on YouTube now, hunty, I'm gonna need you to go on over to YouTube. Look up Money Management Matters. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Money Management Matters on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, honey. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. Let me know that you love it. Let me know that you want some more of it. I love that. Okay, anyway. So this is what we're going to do. Tonight we're going to talk about the story, the financial journey that I had with my debt. Debt. And I'm really talking about the credit card debt and like personal loan debt. Now, you may have heard that there's good debt and there's bad debt, right? And I truly believe that. I believe in that philosophy. Some people say all debt is bad, but I don't believe that. I believe there's good debt and there's bad debt. Now, the good debt is the debt that gives you a return on your investment, or the good debt is debt that appreciates. And appreciate means go up in value. Okay. So, say for instance, good debt is your mortgage, is your home, is your real estate, is your land. If you are borrowing money to purchase your first home, your second home, your vacation home, a piece of land, a business facility. Maybe if you're a business owner and you want to purchase your own store or your own office space, that's good debt because that piece of property, that real estate can go up in value, right? So it's appreciating while you are paying it off. Now, bad debt, I believe, is the credit card debt. Now, credit card debt is that little thing with the Visa on it, that little thing with the MasterCard on it. It's that little card that we love to swipe at all the different stores in the world. About every single store got a credit card now. Even Amazon got a credit card now. You know, Kroger got a credit card now. I'm thinking about grocery stores. Now, Kroger, I think, is about the only one that I know of that's got a credit card in my area. Like Publix, I don't think Publix got a credit card because they never asked, anybody if they want to get a credit card. Ingles, I don't think got a credit card. Now, I could be mistaken, but I'm just going from my experience. But anyway, these credit cards have no value. Okay. Matter of fact, if you purchase things on a credit card with the interest added onto it, your money is actually depreciating, or the value of the item that you purchased is depreciating. Just like if you get in groceries on a credit card, right? Then the groceries is gone. The groceries have no value once you take it out the store. The value is zero because you can't, unless now, it's always exceptions. If you buying the groceries for your business because you a cook, or you doing making plates on the side, that's your little side hustle. Now that could be considered appreciation because it's bringing money in. But if it's not bringing any money in, the value of it ain't going up, then that's pretty much bad debt. It's bad debt. Now, the other exception is if you do have credit cards, a lot of people will use credit cards for the points, right? You get points, you get free flights, free hotel stays, whatever you can get with your points. Now, the caveat to that is if you do have a credit card for the points, you have to pay it off. It's a good idea and a best practice is to pay that card off every month. Okay. So it does not accrue interest. So you're not paying more for the items or for the things that you put on the credit card than what you originally paid for, because that's what interest do. It just adds on to the balance of what you paid for it. That makes sense. Like if you pay $10 for something, you probably pay $2 in interest if you don't pay it off every month. So instead of 10, you really paid 12. That makes sense. So listen, this kind of stuff I really did not understand myself as I was getting into a lot of credit card debt. Now, if you remember, if you've been watching my series, I was a single mother. So a lot of times as single mothers, we have to put things on credit cards, just to make ends meet. So it's nothing bad. It's not a really bad thing. But the bad part is, and this is what happened to me, because I had to learn it the hard way, right? Is I had a card for every store, right? I didn't have just one card that I used and made all my purchases with. I had a card for Macy's, Belks, JC Penney's, Lerner, what other store? Sears. Every store in the mall, I got a card for. And pretty much every time I went shopping, and if they asked me, do you want to get a credit card so you can save an additional 10% today? I got excited because I thought I was saving some money, honey. Lies, okay? Just straight up lies. So I had to learn the hard way after I found myself in over $30,000 worth of credit card debt. 30,000 now. This is just credit cards. That don't even include my car, right? So yeah, I had to figure that out because what had happened was, if y'all been watching my videos, I told y'all last video that the death of my father really was the turning point in my financial situation, because when I realized that I as the oldest daughter had to come up with money to use for funeral expenses for my father, and I did not have any savings account. I realized at that point that all my money was going toward credit card debt, because I had to stop. I had to get serious, and I had to face the facts that I was in a lot of debt. I was in a lot of credit card debt. Number one. Number two, I did not have money saved up. And they say to make sure you have 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. Honey, I ain't even have 1 month's worth of living expenses saved up, much less seven to $10,000 for a funeral. Wasn't no kind of way, no how, right? So I had to get serious. That's when I really had a mindset shift. I had went in deep into prayer. I told y'all about that. That God really gave me this purpose, this ministry, this um what I'm doing now, my business. God gave this to me because what I've been through. And my hope and prayer that he has told me is to share my testimony. So, in hopes and prayers that someone that hears it will be able to learn from what the mistakes that I made, and they won't have to go through the same thing that I went through. They don't have to have a loved one that passes away and we don't have no life insurance, and we don't have no money to do what we need to do. So we're going to talk about credit card debt tonight, and I want to share with you all what I had to do to get out of the credit card debt. Now, first thing I had to do, like I said, was face the facts. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and plug my new program in right here. I have a program that I got coming out, and the first step, the first strategy in this financial program is going to be to face it. Okay, we can't fix what we don't face. We can't fix what we don't acknowledge. We can't solve a problem unless we say to ourselves, we got a problem. I got a problem and I got to get it fixed. Okay. I don't want you to have to go to be hit over the head. Sometimes, and this is so true. And I was talking about this earlier. Sometimes as young people, we don't listen to our parents, and even as adults, I ain't even gonna say young people. It's adults. As we get older, we don't listen to people. We can hear the same information over and over and over again, and we don't take action on it, right? Until something happens drastically and we get hit over the head with the bat or the proverbial bat, and it knocks some sense in our head. Okay, that's what happened with me and my father. I had to get hit over the head with the proverbial bat that said bling ding duh, why you don't have life insurance? Why you didn't ask your daddy about having life insurance? Why y'all don't communicate about this? Why? At the time it happens, it's too late to ask why. Okay, that's when it's too late. So you have to ask why and prepare for the why now, while you got a chance, right? While you're living, while you're understanding, while you're hearing it, while you're comprehending it. Get the knowledge. And that's another thing I talked about is we are suffering, we are dying, we are so far behind from lack of knowledge. Okay. So one thing that I had to do is face the facts. And once I faced it, then I had to say, okay, I got to get my finances organized. I got to get my thought process around my money organized. Okay. I got to put it on paper. I got to get it out of my head and get it on paper. I got to gather up all my bills. Now, this is back in the days when we was getting paper bills because I don't, yeah, they was probably doing it online too, but I didn't take advantage of the online. So I got the paper bill. And if all anything like me, we to get the paper bill, and because we already knew we didn't have enough money to pay it, we just stick it over in a stack of mail that we never open. Not the right thing to do because you're not facing it. If you're just putting it in a stack, if you're just sticking it in a drawer of mail that I'm gonna open in 2 or 3 weeks from now when I get paid again, that ain't facing it. So as soon as you get that notice in your email, or as soon as you get that bill in the mail, facing it means to open it right then and there. Open it up, write it down. Write it down. That's why I created a planner, and it's available on Amazon. Finding Favor with Your Finances is my book, but I also did a planner along with it, a money planner. And you take that planner and you write down all your credit card debt, all your bills, so you can see it every month. So that's a way of getting organized, okay? And then after I got organized, then and I saw all my bills, I saw how much I owed, I saw how much I had to pay every month, I saw what the balances was. Then I had to make some changes. I had to make some changes. I had to figure out how was I going to reduce all this debt and how was I going to get rid of it? How was I going to get money for saving? And I realized at that point I was not going to have money for savings until I got rid of some of the debt, right? So, honey, so I had to make some changes. So, I had to figure out how I was going to eliminate this debt. Now, there's several ways to eliminate your debt. One of the ways that I chose, and you know, once this program come out that I'm working on, I'm going to be giving you all the different ways to eliminate your debt. But the one that I chose that helped me was the debt consolidation. And that means taking all your credit cards and combining them together into one loan. And so I had to find a good reputable company that would consolidate the credit card debt for. That's where your research is going to have to come in because it's some very shady companies out there that say they'll consolidate your debt, but they wind up charging you more than what you would have get than what you would have paid just paying the debt yourself. So it takes some communication and some negotiation, and I talk about all that as well. But that's what helped me. But the only thing is, it's always a catch. Every credit card company is not going to may not take the consolidation offer, because you have to call them and offer this to them. You have to call them and tell them you're going through a hard time. Call them, tell them you're drowning in debt, that you can't pay every one of your bills. You got to get vulnerable, and tell the truth about what's going on. You got to face it, right? The F is one of the things I'm gonna be talking about in my program. But every credit card company is not going to accept the consolidation. So I found out that to be true with one of my credit cards. So that was a whole issue. So I had to keep that one out. But the majority of the rest of them did let me consolidate. Now, So I was able to get another loan, one loan, and pay off all those cards, and then I just had one payment. So that's called debt consolidation. Now, one thing you want to be cautious of when you do that is once you pay off the credit cards, don't close the credit cards, because that's one thing I had to learn too. Because when you close credit cards, that affects your credit report negatively. Now, don't ask me why, because I'm not a credit report expert, but I have to do some research on that to help to find out the reason. But I do know, because I remember from my experience that as I was paying off my credit cards, I'm looking at my credit report and it wasn't getting better. Matter of fact, it went down a couple of points. And what the heck is going on here? But that's a whole different situation. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is when you get a credit card company that don't want to consolidate, they don't want to negotiate, then you're going to have to possibly bring in more income, because that's the other thing that I had to do. I was like, okay, I got some of this debt consolidated, and the payment was maybe about $200 or $300 a month, but and then I still had this one card that the payment on that was about $200 because it was a big one. It was anyway. So I had to bring in more income. So sometimes when you're going through your financial journey, you're going through what we're going to do, how we're going to do this. One option strategy is you have to bring in more income. You got to get you a side hustle, honey. You got to figure out what you may be good at outside of your regular job and do that for a little while. And all the extra money that you have coming in, you have to be intentional about putting it toward that debt. You can't use that extra money to go out to eat on. You can't use that extra money for groceries. You got to use it for the intention of paying down debt. Now, I did that as well. That was another thing that I actually had to do. I started doing Mary Kay. That's where I really started getting into having my own business and doing having extra income coming in so that I could pay off this credit card debt. So sometimes we have to make some sacrifices. We got to sacrifice our time, because for me, I'm raising children. I had to be, away from them during the evening hours, trying to work another job, trying to bring in extra income with the Mary Kay business and things like that. So the sacrifice for me was time with my children, right? And being home for them when I needed them. And then also, like I said before, I had to cut back on some things. We had to cut back on the eating out, cut back on the entertainment, cut back on, we never took a vacation. I think we might have took two, maybe three vacations in the whole span of my children's life because we just didn't have, the money for it. But those are some sacrifices you have to make sometimes when you're trying to get out of a financial funk, out of financial valley, out whatever you want to call it, out of that drowning in debt, to get to survival, to be able to survive financially, to be able to come through, to be able to make sure that you have money for savings and make sure that you have money to purchase those life insurance policies for your family members. You got to make some sacrifices. Point blank, period. So the word of God says, and I'm gonna throw this word in here because y'all know I love the Bible. I go by the Bible. My foundation is the word of God. It says in Proverbs 22:7, the rich rules over the poor. Now, when I heard that, I got to thinking, you know what? Now that I'm reading this, the rich is who? The credit card companies. They already rich. They making so much money off of us poor little consumers who go out and want to buy and use credit to buy. We're getting poorer because we're having to pay them what we owe them plus interest. Plus interest. So the rich is the credit card companies, the banks. They are the rich. The rich rule over the poor. So they ruling over us. Because guess what? Every time we owe somebody and we don't pay them, guess what they do? They start bugging you, calling you. you know, threatening you. They used to be threatening. They used to be very threatening calls until I think they passed the law against that. But they was very threatening. So that's like a rulership or like a master to a slave, right? And then it says the borrower is servant to the leader. Let me see what version this is. We're gonna read all the versions. That's okay, that's King James. And the borrower, which is us, because we're borrowing money from these banks and credit card companies to buy stuff on credit, is servant to the lender. So we're almost like their servant, their slave. Because I think NIV might say slave. Hold on one second. Let's see what the NIV say. Yeah. NIV says the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. Okay. So who wants to be a slave? Slave days is over, baby. So when I read that, that pretty much pushed me into the seriousness of what God was saying about borrowing money and being bogged down with a whole bunch of credit card debt. Now, again, there's good debt and bad debt. Because God also said He wants us to have homes. He wants to have riches and homes and lands. And we know in this day and time, in order to have a home, we have to pretty much borrow for that. Because unless we got about $200,000 sitting around, which is pretty much how much homes is or was. I think now the home prices have went up to an average of 300,000 now. But you know, pretty much we ain't got that land around. So we have to, we have to finance that, and I think that's okay. That's again, that could be considered good debt, and that's for real estate in a home is property that's going to appreciate. So it's going to go up in value. So just say, for instance, you bought a home and you kept it for 30 years and you paid it off. That's something that you can pass down to your children, and your children can either live in it or they can sell it, and that's appreciation. That's something that they can have. That's what they call part of their net worth. That'd be worth that 200 or $300,000 that they can use for whatever purpose they choose to lose it from, right? So that's good debt. That's good debt if you have to mortgage your home. But all I know is slave days are over, and I'm not trying to be slave to the lender anymore, especially with these credit cards. Now I'm telling you, if you're trying to get ahead, if you're trying to um, make a change in your financial situation, definitely take some of what I said and implement it. You got to implement. The other night I talked about action taking. We can get all the knowledge and hear everything I say, but if you don't take action on it, it ain't gonna do no good. It ain't gonna do no good. So let's take action. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Try my best to be back on here tomorrow night, and we'll talk about another subject matter, another summertime story series where I give you some information or a story about my financial journey. So hang in there, stay connected with me, and we will see you all on tomorrow night. You all have a blessed rest of your evening, and have a good night's sleep.